Hello, this is Mark Posey. I'm going to try my best to walk you through the Allstate data from iWanamaker. There are a couple of sheets we're going to show you here. We're going to take you through some files and take you step by step on how to take it from this spreadsheet all the way through to where the point we can print it off for Allstate selection. I'm going to kind of pause and stop this video as we kind of go through and work on it, so you don't have to see you'll see all the steps, but certainly not everything that I do in repetitive form. So I've got a folder. We kind of start off here. I start off in the MIGCA Posey. Obviously over the years this might change, or hopefully it will change from my file to a association file, but I've got an all-state selection folder. In that all-state selection folder, you can see each year we go through, we're creating new folders for it. We also have over here some of the master files, some of the worksheets that the vice president will need in order to print off, or the directions on how to do things. Constantly updating this. You're going to see a little bit of this file, the iWanamaker data directions, that I am slowly working on. It's going to look something like this. It's just going to take you step by step of different things that the vice president needs to do between the time that nominations are over and the time that they start all state selections. So I am going to constantly be updating this one. I can't say that this is perfect at this point, but I'm going to use this video to kind of update these steps and how to do these steps. So with that, we start off with a lot of different cells. You can see we have A to AC, and if we go down in this year, girls 2023, we actually have 11,000 different cells, or different rows. So the rows that I talk about, if you're not familiar with spreadsheets, is we're going to go sideways. The columns go up and down. First thing you want to notice as you go through, you've got the event ID, the event name, everything up here. Level 1 is obviously Lower Peninsula. Level 2 is what division they're in. Level 3, you can break this down by regional. Level 4 is their conference, and then the rest of it is kind of self-explanatory, with the exception of Allstate over here. This AC one over here, or AC, they have ones and zeros. This is on the website. When the coach goes in and clicks the button on iWanamaker, it turns this cell from a 0 to a 1. And this helps us sort it. You can see I've already sorted this. All these zeros are players that were not nominated. So when you go through, these are kids that the button did not get clicked. Now, as we go through it, you're going to know that as you look through things, not every player or every coach actually clicked the button. So you might have to go in and get some of the players out of the zeros. And that's okay. If they didn't click it, we can go over here to Sylvia Sanford, and we can, if we need to at the end, come over and we can change these zeros to a 1 so that we can then sort them. So basically what I do when I first start out is there are certain cells or certain columns I need and certain columns I don't. So right now I don't need the event ID, I don't need the event name. So if I click on the A, B and select those columns, I can then right click and I can hide those cells. I can take those out. In fact, I don't even need the URL. I can do the same thing, go hide those. I don't need 18 holes, I can hide them. And that kind of goes over here, hide the following cells. I kind of went over right here. These are the cells I hide. These are the cells that I keep for at least the time being right now. Eventually, some of these, like their name, will be removed. You just don't want to remove them right now as you're beginning the process of working on all these and getting these ready. So, you're going to go through, you're going to hide those certain cells. Now, what I also did is over here, when I got done, the first thing I do is I take this sheet right here, and I make a master copy of it, so I don't do anything to this actual sheet. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo what I just did, get these things back, and I don't touch this sheet at all. I leave it alone just in case something happens, and I make a copy of it, and I name it the year the girls master data. So this right here is all the master data, and you can see here I have already taken out some of the cells, and you can see between here you've got two little lines between S and U where I have taken things out. And so this is basically my starting point. So you can see I've already kind of sorted this by name. You can see that the players' names come in all next to each other. Where over here, oh, I already sorted this one too by names too. So when you get this, it actually won't be sorted. So I guess that might be a little confusing as I go through. But I will show you kind of how to sort it. So let me pause here, catch my breath, and we'll continue in a second. All right, so basically what I did is, let's continue. I brought up the original file that I get from Doyle, and so this is kind of what it looks like. So as you go through, we're going to notice that, you've got Paige Anderson, Emma McKinley, and this is kind of not sorted at all. So everything is all scrambled. The tournaments, the names. Actually, it looks like here you started off with Whitehall. And so it is kind of organized maybe by event name. But anyway, none of this really kind of helps out. You can see as you go over here, you've got some ones, some zeros. And what we have to do is we have to basically start out by sorting these. So what I do is I select all the cells that I want. Going over here, I come across those letters. And then I come over here to my data tab. When I come to my data tab, I come over here and I sort. Now when I sort, I'm going to add some levels. So one of the first things I want is I want to go all the way down. I want these sorted by all state. So in other words, I want them sorted by the ones and the zeros. And I actually want the largest first because I want the ones up on top and the zeros on the bottom, because the zeros I don't care about. And so the second thing I hit add a level. I want to be able to sort them by last name. Now, the first time I did this, I only sorted it by last name, didn't realize that there were some sisters or people with the same name. So it would mix the Smith kids. It would have Abby Smith and then Abigail Smith. And so the Smith's names would be not sorted. So I learned that you had to go to add level and then also do the first name also. And then the last thing I like to do is when you get these, not only sort them by players, but then I also sort them by the event date. And so I come down a little bit, the round date right there. And so this will then sort it, I believe, put them in order. It'll put the players in order. It'll put them by all state. So when I go here and I click it, you can see automatically I've got Ella Adams sitting right here. She is good to go. You can see that the round date was at the beginning of the year, and her end of the year right here finished up with her regional state finals at the bottom. And I think that's the way our membership wants it, is you start off with how you did in the beginning of the year and how you finished at the end of the year. And so you can see here I've got all state number 1, and they are all sorted by names. You can see that some players have obviously played more events than others. None of these, when you go through, should be more than, I believe, 19. That's 16 dates in the season. A regional makes 17, and 2 state finals make 18 and 19. So you can always tell whether or not a player played too many dates, but do have to go over and take a look, because you can play 2 events in one day, and sometimes that happens. So that's basically what you get. And then from here, I start going through with these things right here. I select the cells, I 2-finger tap or right click, and I start hiding where I don't need the gender. I don't need a lot of these columns. So I'm just go through and I can take out for right now and hide the columns that I want. The preferred lies, coaches have told me this doesn't matter. And so you can either keep it or delete it. You can always bring it back later. It all depends up to what the coaches want on a year in, year out basis. So I don't need the T name simply because I've got the yardage right here, the score. One of the things I like to do is on IWR right here is get rid of all the decimals. So I come back over to home, I come back over to these two, and if you click this, they'll go away. But you do have to, you can't select the IWR because it doesn't know what to do with it. So what I do is I believe I delete it like this, so it gets rid of there. And for some odd reason, it's still not letting me. So I'll put the IWR back up there. But if you select them like this, or if you just hold down Shift and come all the way down to the bottom, and then click, it'll grab these. And then you can see here, you can leave to the hundredths place or to the tenths place. I kind of like the tenths place, call it good from there. And then that'll get it down to a number they understand. The higher number is the worse that they did on the course. The lower the number is the better. And then you've got the rest of these here. So basically, you're looking at a spreadsheet that's looking pretty good right now. And then from there, we can obviously go between E and F here. If I need to make these a little bit bigger, I want to see the schools. So for right now, I'm just going to kind of open up the event. If you click on the wrong one, you say I just opened up T. I don't want that one. So you got to be careful when you open up and make these that you only open up S. And then the rest look halfway decent where I've got them. You can still go through and you can center things if you want. Like, I want this level 4 for right now, maybe in the center. I'm going to eventually want all of these in the center. Just to make them look a little bit better. But that's kind of how you get started sorting your data and getting all set. So again, you go through that E to AC, you select your cells, you come up here to the data, and you sort. And you can see that I've already still got this. So if I need to change it, I can change it. But I'm going to pause the video and go over to my other master sheets for a second. So here's the sheets that I have. The only other thing is I took these things right here. I made them a little bit bigger. And I also wrap the text. So you can see here how they're really skinny. When I select them and wrap the text, it then allows these to go up on top. Now comes the tedious part. Basically what I want is I want to get it to a spot that I can start adding some of the averages and putting some things in and making some separations between the players. So I'm going to pause here for a second. All right, so I brought up the boys sheet, so you can see here what we trying to get to. So we're trying to get to their ID number, which comes from the MIGCA website. Every player, when they're nominated, ends up with an ID number. We're going to make a cell here. We're going to insert it in, and we're going to put our cells. We're going to put that number there so that that's the identification number for their information. So when they blind vote, they don't know who this player is. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to manually, because again, where it gets tedious, we're going to do their averages, we're going to do their 9-hole average, and we're going to do their IWA average. And I'm also thinking that as I go through this, I might even do the yardage average, just to give the coaches a sense of how far the average courses that they played when they played 18 holes. So obviously this is only the 18-hole average. You can see over here on this player number 3062, I actually had to go into the 9-hole average and we had to average their scores for 9 holes. And then I just I pasted it over and typed it in. This is again where some of the errors might happen. I've also made mistakes entering in 30-26 for a player when they were 30-62. So those are some of the things you just kind of have to be careful with when you enter these things manually. So basically what we want to do is, you can see here I've got 2 cells in between the players. One of them I'm going to fill with a title. So what I want to do is I want to be able to create a spread of 2 cells or 2 rows coming through here between every single player. So if I've got 200 players nominated, we're going to put 2 cells in between every single 200 players and just go through and start adding cells. And I'm eventually going to add 1 to the left of the event name. And then we're going to go in, we're going to add 1 here of their yearly average 9-hole Iwanamaker, and be able to give them some room there. The only issue this really has here when you start doing things like this, including state finals finish, that you have to look up. When Iwanamaker goes to their version 4, we should have a 2-day total down here where it will say, their 2-day total 71, 75, and 146. Down here, it'll be a little bit harder to do maybe yearly average at that point because If they have 2-day totals mixed in here, then we can't just average a straight set right here. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But that's kind of what we're trying to do. So I'm going to get rid of this, go over here, and what you basically do is you select number 7 and 8. You right click, you come over here, and you insert a cell. You can see the spread right now. And then eventually, when we're all done, I'm going to grab these right here. I'm going to end up copying them. I'm going to end up putting those in. And that's how you start to get a spread between each person. I'll go down over here. Again, 2-finger tap. I will then insert. You can kind of cheat the system if you are really good holding down the control button. I can select that, hold down control, and keep holding it down. I can now select that, and then I can go select these two and these two. But if you mess up, you lose all your selections. So I can just go to these 4 right now, hit insert once, and you can see it started to separate them. Sometimes you mess up, sometimes you do. I save it a lot to make sure that I've got the spreads, and I'm basically only going to do this for the ones. But I'm going to go through, and you can see the ones for all 4 divisions right now, because I have deleted the zeros on the other sheet. I have to go through 2,500 cells, and we have to put two cells in between each person. So I'm going to pause it and see you in about 25 minutes after I get done putting in 2 rows in between each player. So I'll see you in a bit. So as you can see, we've added 2 rows in between every single player. You might check as you go through, you might accidentally not have put in 2 rows in between, but we can always fix that later. But I left all 4 divisions on the same page. So all these cells right here are in the same sheet. So you have all 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't split them up into divisions yet. So the next step is I'm going to select B. I'm going to right click, and I want to insert a cell over here on this left hand side. And what this is going to be is this is going to be their ID number. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to select these cells right here, and I'm basically going to merge and center right here. And I'm going to do that for every single person. So as I go through merge center, and this is going to allow me or allow someone to go through here and write down that they were number 3045 or 3056. We're then going to go ahead and we're going to put these, I believe, in the middle. We're going to change it to a row like this. We're going to put them up here in the middle. We're going to make them nice and big like this. So this is going to be their nomination ID number. And again, you'll get this from the MIGCA website. You'll look up their nominations. You'll have to find this person and then write down their number. I suggest as you find this person to highlight the ones that you've done so that the ones you haven't done are highlighted. Now, I will say if you do come across a person that was not nominated in was not nominated in the MIGCA website, but they were nominated in Allstate, you will not have a number. So then what we've done in the past is we have contacted that coach going, hey, they have 104 average. Did you really mean to nominate them? Or we just basically would take them out at that point if we saw that their average was in the hundreds and there was some mistake with nominating them. Because the students or the players can actually go through and they could actually click that number themselves. Nothing is stopping them. That's one of the things that we need to work on getting kind of rid of. But that's what we're doing right now is I'm going to go through and just start selecting all the cells that they have right here and coming over and merging so that they have those. I guess the other thing I can do while I'm doing it is I can select these because I can now go in and give a title to every single one. So you can go through as you select them. You can see that I can now start giving the titles and doing the sides. So I'll see you in another half an hour. Okay, so that was a nice 20 minutes of going through and selecting the cells. Don't forget when you do cells like this, I'll do it over here just to show you. I select and I scroll, but I hold down when I select, I hold down control. Because then that will let me do multiple, and then I can go right click and I can go over here to merge cells and it'll merge all of them. So I don't always have to select the cells and go over here and merge and select and merge. I kind of just turn control on and off and select it over here when I do these, so it just makes it a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. All right, next step, we need to get some columns over here where we can put their averages for how they average for their IWR, their score, their state finals finish, things like that. So usually what I do is I pull up like last year's. Here's the boys from 23. 2023. So you can see the yearly average, 9-hole average, Iwanamaker. So I'm going to basically just take this right here. I'm going to copy it. And when I come over to my Excel sheet over here, I always debate on where to go. I'm just going to go right down here. The issue becomes people like this that only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tournaments. It ends up going in. People that have it like this have no problem at all. It looks awesome. Because then you can go through and make it a little bit bigger, do things like that. So what I think I'm actually going to do this year is I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. I'm going to go over, I'm going to do yearly average, 9-hole average. I'm going to do 18-hole average. Yeah, I'm going to leave this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. Now, just for safety's sake, I think I'm just going to do this. And I don't even know if I want yardage average. State finals finish we got to have. So we might just organize this a little bit better. Let me pause the video and I'll come right back. Yeah, so I kind of like it looking like this. I don't know if we're going to have room at the end, but we are going to kind of get rid of the school. We're going to get rid of their names, so that's going to shorten things up a little bit. But I'm going to live with it because if I really need some extra room, I think I can always cut the course name because I think as long as you can see this beginning, I think you're good. Same thing with the event name. If I later towards this end, if I need it, I can kind of cut off. I don't think it's necessarily that important. I think it's just more important to have these stats. So I'm going to go just 4 cells down like this. Once I get them, I'm actually going to delete this. The 9-hole average we have to look up. The 18 and the IW, I'm going to get these all set. So for like this one right here, if I click up here, you can see it's just taking the averages of these, which is their score, which is awesome. And there's their IWR, and I'm going to do the average right here. I'm going to get this all set, move this out of the way. I'm going to do their yardages right here. We're going to get rid of the decimal just to let them know that they averaged 5,100 yards on the year, which, you know, is pretty good. But these are going to have to be manually entered. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we've done the last 2 times. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go up here, I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to paste it. Now, you're wondering why right now, Mark, this thing's all messed up. But when we do this average and we go through and fix it, we're going to go through our next step. We're going to click on this, and then we're just going to drag this up, and now it's got its average, and I can hit enter. And then I'm going to go to IWR, do the same thing, bring it up to there, and I've got it, and my yardage, and do the same thing. And we're going to do this if we have 200 nominations. We're going to do this 200 times. So you can see how much fun we're having. And then we're going to manually look up the 9-hole average and the state finals finish and put that in there. Obviously, for this girl right here, that state finals finish is going to be like a dash, dash, dash. Whoa, don't want that. How about just a dash, dash, dash? Call it good. Whoops. They don't like the formula. Okay. I don't want a formula. How about just dash space, dash space, dash space? No, I don't want that. Enter. No, they won't like me have anything. So maybe that was such a bad idea. We'll just get rid of all of it. State finals finish, we'll just leave blank for right now. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to start copying these, putting them all in, and then we're going to go through and do all the averages. Just in case, you'll see again, I'm going to click on every single one. We're going to grab this blue box in the corner. We're going to make sure we have all their scores. We're going to do their IWR, same thing. We're going to bring it down. Yardage average. Hey, we already got that one. So copy paste, and you can see we're starting to get a little close. Okay, so about an hour later, I have taken all the averages I want to make here, and the yardages are all coordinated. I just double clicked, and when you double click, you can see that they are all there. If I double click on that, I want to make your average. You can see that, I've got them hopefully right there. We can just double check. Some of them, as you can see, I didn't do. The player with 107 to 116 probably wasn't even nominated in the first place. In fact, only played one invite, so outside of the state. So I am at that point where all D1, 2, 3, 4 and done. That leaves us up to now we need to come over here. We need to look up this player. We need to type in her player ID number. So I'm going to go over here right now. I'm going to click on B. I'm going to make sure they're all in the middle. Yep, looks like there. So if you go 2045, they should be there. I need to make sure they're all in the center right there. So when they get typed in, we need the player numbers there. We also need to do the 9-hole average and the state finish. The 9-hole average, I'm actually going to come over to this 9-hole sheet right here. Here's the 9-hole sheet, MHSAA female 9. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to hide about everything because this, we just need a couple of things. So I'm going to just stick with me here, just pause. Alright, so as you can see, I left the last name, first name, school, score, and state ID. You can see we're not sorted yet. So I'm going to take you through his again. I'm going to select these. I'm going to come over to the data. I'm going to come to sort. I believe in this one I want to sort by all state first. Again, I want largest to smallest. I'm then going to sort by last name. I'm then going to sort by first name. And then no, it doesn't matter. I just want those right there. So as long as I go through there, you can see here I've got Ella Adams. And then what we're basically left with doing is we want to select these, and I believe I want an average. So if I select that, since I've already selected them, I want an average of those two. Ooh, nope. So I've got to come over here. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I want an average. I want an average of just this player. I'm going to click OK. And then we're going to take these right here and do the same thing. In this case, we got a 49.5 for Ella Adams. So if I come over here, let's see if this matches up. If I go all the way back up, I am hoping Ella Adams, for some odd reason, isn't here. But I'm trying to think. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go click average here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to grab her average right there. Click OK. And see what I did wrong. I clicked on the wrong ones. Yep. Can't do an average of the school. So we have right here. So we need to take this person, come all the way to the end and go 50.2. 50.2. That's where her average will go in. There is another way to do it. If you were to go over to iWanamaker, I will just bring this over here for right now. If you go to rankings, and actually I don't even know if this will work, so just bear with me. Alright, so if I go all rounds, 9-hole rounds, all divisions, I want scoring average, and you want player. So you could legitimately go just Division 1 right now. But then you'd have to look through all this, so this isn't even worth it. You'd have to search. You could confirm it this way if you knew. You go up, look up Elise Fennell and go 34.7. So you could go this way and look up this way, or you can just go down that spreadsheet. For me, it's a lot easier just to go down this spreadsheet and kind of get the averages for each one. I'm just trying to think how I did it to get it in. So we're just going to go through, work, and put those averages right. Okay, so as you can see over here, we have our data all set. The next thing is to go over here and put in the nomination ID number for each of these people. I suggest to do it sorted by division, so you don't have to hop through all the divisions looking through. Or you can just go straight down the list and kind of do it alphabetically, knowing that these sheets here are alphabetical by division. But we've got to get those in. The other thing we need to do is we need to start putting in the 9-hole averages and the state finals averages. One way I get the 9-hole average is I come over to the spreadsheet that we get the 9-hole scores. So what I have to do is you go through and you basically hide about everything, things you don't need. Now I'm going to need to remember level 2 here, because again level 2 is the division that they are in, but I can still hide that as I don't need it as part of the information. So I just go over here until I get score, school. I keep the school, the player's name. And then I also, for the time being, I keep all state, because you see I haven't sorted yet. Now when you do sort and you come up here, you go back through, I'm always going to, I think, do all state, but again, largest to smallest, because I want the ones on the top. I'm then going to sort by last name. I then go through by first name, just in case they're two of the same. The last one I do is that level 2, which is from smallest to largest, so that'll do it by division. So I go through here, something didn't happen right, because Ella Adams is not in that division. So let me take level 2, that might need to go up to the second thing. And there you go. So level 2, if I go back to sort, the level 2 needed to be the second, and then you sort by last name, first name. And then it keeps the division 1 here is up on top. So you could go through and keep division up there if you wanted to, but hopefully we don't need it. Then you're going to take the 2 sheets. We're going to take this one, move it off to the side, take the 18, and you can see her right there. We just now need to go through and put that in. The hard part now is I'm trying to think how I did the averages, because I'm done with all state for right now. I can hide it, but I basically need to take these and I need to do an average. So when I go here, I need to do an average of hers and see that it's 50.2. I could very easily just do this, erase it. I then come to my next one and you can see it's 40.3. But for some odd reason, that's not Ballantyne. Oh, because she doesn't play 9 holes. So you will see that Traverse City Central won't have a 9-hole average, and that's why she's not there. So some girls are going to be that way. So if I go back over here, oops, I just messed that up. So if I come back here and I do the average of this person right here, you can see it was average of 40.8. I don't even want that. Alright, we almost had this. So basically, in order to get the average, I'm just copying an average and I'm pasting it right at the top of each of the people. And then I'm going to have to come back when we are done. Again, if you double click on this and double click, you're just going to select all of Ann Arbor right there, hit enter. I'm going to come to this one, double click it, double click those right there, and then I have to get all of Seaholmes, grab all of this players, and you're just making sure that you select your average and you're getting them there. Once you get them there, you're just going to take this and go transfer it over, knowing that these averages are correct. You're going to go put them in, and then just one by one put them in, and then do the same thing for the state finals. State finals, you're going to have to use iWanamaker. Go look up that finish, include the T for a tie, and then you're getting close to being done.